creating a single static web page, we need layouts and design with the content inside that page. And for another page with the same design, we just duplicate that page and we'll change the content inside it. And what about adding a new element? We will add an element in the page, and for another page, we will just duplicate that particular element and paste it inside that duplicated page. But the case is, whatever having hundreds of pages, it will be a very tedious process. There comes the dynamic page, where you can do the design only once and can do the connection with the CMS. So the information stored in the CMS will be extracted and displayed in the dynamic page. Whereas the CMS is content management system. It helps the user to create, modify, and manage the content on website. Coming to the CMS in Framer, it uses the terms called collections. A collection in Framer functions like a simple database, where you use a set of different fields, each with a specific type, to collect a list of items that can be stored and referenced throughout the website. In order to understand the collection more clearly, think of a classroom. Here, the classroom will act as a collection. Inside the class, there will be a bunch of students, each will have a certain informations. That is, each student will have a separate ID, name, marks obtained in each subject, total marks they have secured, address, etc. So here, those ID, name, subjects, marks will act as a field. So in each field, the information of the students will be stored so that all the content get organized. So now you have understand what is the database. Now let's come to the dynamic page. For the dynamic page, we can take an example of blog page. In every blog page, the layout designs will be same, but only the content inside it will vary. Let's understand it clearly. For a blog page, we have a title, image, name of the author, the category of the blog, the date it has been created, and the main content of the blog. So inside the blog page, only the content will vary. So if we make the connection between this page and to the CMS collection with the appropriate fields, the information stored in the CMS collection will be extracted and displayed in this blog single page. So now you all get a clear idea on what is a CMS and a collections. So now let's see how we can do it in Framer. So we came to the Framer, and the CMS can be found at the top panel. So just click on it. Here you can find the options of import CSV and add blog, so that you can import the CSV file, and by default you can add the blogs also. But for instance, let us create newly. So for that, to create the collection, just click on this plus icon. So the new collection will be added so that you get the UI like this. Now we need to add the fields. In order to add the fields, just click here where you can find edit fields. Here by default, we will have a title, slug, and content. Just go to this plus icon here where you can find a plain text. If I click on the plain text, a field will be created. Here you can give the name of the fields. And coming to the description, you can provide the description about that particular field. Even you can specify whether this particular field should be required or no. If I make it as S, then this particular field will be compulsory to be entered. Even we can provide the max length of this field. And coming to the default, we have a value and based on. Here we can give the value for that particular field. And we have another option of based on. So if I choose on based on, we can choose the field. So this particular name field will be based on the chosen field. For example, I have chosen it as title. So this name field will be based on the title field. And even we can provide whether it is a text area or no. Next, we have formatted text. The formatted text will be used for the main content of the blog or a product-based collection. Even we can specify whether this field should be required or no. And also the max length can be provided. The next is link. This link field is to provide a link to the collection. Here we can give the description about it. Even we can specify whether it is required or no. The next one is image. The image field will be created. Even by default, we can give the image to this particular field. And then we can able to change the image of this field. This default image is only for the preview, but on creating a new item, we are definitely going to change that image. And next is color. Even we can specify the color field in the collection. The default value also can be chosen here. The next one is toggle. The toggle option is for on or off, where you can see the icon here. So that the toggle field will be created. Here we can give the name of that particular field. The next one is option. The option is like a drop down. Let's take it as a category. So that category will be displayed as a drop down. From that you can choose the specified category. So by default it will be chosen as option 1. Even we can change the default value, whether it should be an option 2 or option 1. In order to add the new option, we just need to add button as much as you want. Next is number. The number is mainly used for accounting. The default value can be specified here. We can give the value to 1, 2, 3 as much as we want. Even we can provide the minimum value and maximum value. Let the minimum value be 1 and maximum value be 100. And even we can give the option of step in order to, even we can give the option of step, that is to on clicking on plus icon, how much of number should have to be added to the current value. I will again explain everything when I create the new item. So for instance, let me give the value to 5. So if I click on plus icon, it will add plus 5 to the existing number. If I click on minus, it will subtract 5 from the existing number. Even we can specify the unit, whether it should be percentage or a degree. And even we can give the control of whether it should be a slider or stepper. A slider will be like this, and coming to the stepper, it will be like this. The next is date. Here we can give a name for this field, whatever we want. We can give the description also, and by adding a new item, we can specify the date to that field. And next is file. So coming to this file field, we can save the file to this particular field. Even we can specify whether it should be required or not, and we have to provide the extension, whether it should be MP4 or PNG or JPEG, and based on that extension, the particular file will be stored inside that field, so that we have seen all of the fields which is available in the collection. Let's see how to add the items to this collection. In order to add an item, just click on this new item, so that a new collection item will be created. Here we can give the particular title, and based on the title, the slug will be created. The name can be provided, and for the link too will be created. Here you can specify whether it should link to the home, or you can give any external URL. And next is image. If we specify a default image while creating, that particular image will be displayed. And from here we can choose the image from our gallery. The next is tint, that is a color, and we can choose the required color from here. And even we can specify whether this particular item should be featured or no. That can be specified here. The next is option. It will be act as a category. We can choose whether it should be 1, 2, 3 or 4. And next one is a count. So coming to the field count, this is for the counting numbers. So we have already specified the stepper should be 5. So if I click on this, plus 5 will be added. If I click on this, minus 5 will be work on. And if I use the slider, the plus 5 will be added. So this is how it will work. And next is date. If I click on here, the date can be chosen from this calendar. The next one is file. So based on the extension we have provided while creating this field, the files can be chosen. All the content can be provided here. So for an example, let me provide some of the content. This particular line should be the heading 1, and this will be a paragraph. And coming here, let me add a new line, and again let me add a new line, and again let me add a new line. And this will be the heading 2, and this will be the heading 2 and heading 2. So as like that, we can specify whether it should be a paragraph, heading, H2, H3 and so on. And coming to here, we can add a link by choosing here, so that a link can be provided by using this dialog box. Even we can give the bold to the particular word, something like this. And even we can specify the italic too. The next is code. So by clicking on code, we can add a code. The next is an unordered list and an ordered list. And next is a media, that is for the photos. By clicking on this, we can add the image inside this content. The next is an video. So on clicking this video, the YouTube video can be added. So in order to change the URL, just click here and we can give the video URL, that is the YouTube URL here. Even we can provide whether it should be off or on, and we can specify the thumbnail quality, whether it should be high, medium, low or off. The next is code block. By clicking on here, the code block will be created. Here we can give a code. So this is how we need to add the new item into the CMS. So instead of using this collection, let me add a predefined block. So in order to do that, I'm just let me add sample block. So the block collection have been created with the sample items. Let's go through inside this particular item. Here you can see the title, a slug of the title, a date, an image, a content. Here you can see this was in a paragraph. This is heading 2, this is heading 3 and this is heading 3. So this is how it works. And next, let's see, this is select. If I choose this select, we can choose the items inside this collection, and based on the chosen one, we can do the delete. The next is edit field. If I click on this edit field, we can do the changes to that field. We can change the name of that field. We can change the options of that field. The next is import. So we can import the CSV. Let me again click on this 3 dots. Here we can see the options of rename, and we can able to duplicate that particular collection. Even we can copy that one and also deleting that collection. Now let me choose edit field. Here I'm going to add a new fields. Let me add a plain text, that is for author name, and next one is image, that is for author image. Now the 2 fields has been created. Now we need to put the information inside that field. In order to do that, I'm going to the item. Here you can find the 2 fields with author name and author image. And here we need to provide the name, and also we need to provide the image of that particular item. The same follow-ups for all the items, so that we have added the author name and author image to all the items. So we have come to the home page. So we have seen in the blocks only, if I click on the title or a read more button, it will redirect me to the single block page. So we need to add a collection in the home page itself. Let's see how to make that. Let me add a section from the predefined. Let me add this one. Now this has been added. We need to make a collection inside this home. So for that, in order to add a collection, I'm again going to the insert. Here you can find collection list and content field, and going to the collection list, we have a block. Just click and delete the existing stack and bring the collection list just above it, and bring this one inside this collection, so that we have a 5 collection list inside the block. So everything has been displayed. Now we need to give the width to fill, and for this fill, but all the content looks same. It's not looking as like in the collection. In order to set the fields to this particular title and the description, we need to select this particular title, and we need to go to the content. Here we can see the set variable and choose it as title. Now all the title has been displayed here. And coming to this, we haven't created any of the extra, that is a short description of it. So we doesn't need this. Let me delete that, and it's enough to have only one button. Let's change the name as read more. So everything has been changed. An advantage of using this collection list is we have to do the changes only once, so it will affect the all other design also. Next, we need to add the image. So I'm just clicking on this image and going to the fill and set the variable to image. So all the image which have been stored inside the collection will be extracted and displayed here. Let me select the collection list and let me go to the CMS content. Here you can see the collection has been chosen as blog. And next is sorting. Here we have a default and reverse. If I choose sorting to default, it will display from the very first one, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if I choose it as reverse, it will be reversed. That will from the bottom to top. The next we have limit and start offset. So we have seen the blocks. It will not display all the items of the collection inside the web page. It will limit the blocks. So in order to limit the blocks, we are using the option called limit. So by choosing this limit, we can set how it should limit, whether it should be 2, whether it should be 3, whether it should be 4, anything can be provided. So by default, it has been selected as 3. Let it be like that. So only 3 content will be displayed based on the reverse sorting. Let me remove this. Next one is start offset. If I choose this as start offset, it will start from 1. If I choose it as 0, it will start from 0. Now let's make the sorting to default. Let me go to the CMS. This will be considered as 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So if I set the start offset to 0, it will start reading from this particular one, that is 0, 1, 2, 3. If I make the start offset to 1, then it will take out the very first item and other one will be displayed. If I make it as 2, then the first 2 items will be taken out. But now if we want to take out the last 2 items, what we will do? For that, we need to set the sorting to reverse. Then it will take out the last 2 items. These 2 items will be taken out and first 3 items will be displayed. Here it will act as 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Next we have the options of filters. To add the filters, let's click on here. Here we can choose, here we need to choose the field. Here we have a bunch of conditions, is set, isn't set and etc. If I make it as is set, only if the title is set inside the collection. That is, only if the title is given, it will be displayed here. If I choose the condition as isn't set, if I haven't given the title in particular items, then that particular block will be displayed here. As of now, the title should be important, that's why it's not displaying here. The next condition is equals. So the block will be displayed only if the title equals to the value we are going to provide inside here. It will exactly take out the value inside this and then search for if it matches with the existing condition and will display it here. And you need to note one thing, if I give the filters to this collection list, it will be applied to all the items inside the collection. The next condition is doesn't equal. So based on the value which we are going to provide inside this, it will check for the condition if the title doesn't equal to the design. So based on the condition, that block will be displayed. The next condition is start with. Based on the value which we are going to provide here, let me give it as how. So if the block start with how, then that particular block will be displayed here. Let me give it here. There is nothing because we have given the offset to start at. Let me remove that. So based on this condition, the block has been displayed. If these both blocks have been started with how. The next one is doesn't start with. The title shouldn't start with how. The all other blocks which shouldn't start with how will be displayed here. The next one is ends with. Let me change the value to design. So if the title ends with design, that particular block will be displayed. Blocks ends with design, so only that particular block has been displayed. The next one is doesn't end with. So all the blocks should be displayed. The title shouldn't end with design, so that all the block which doesn't end with design will be displayed. The next condition is contains. Here the condition is at least it should contain the word of design. So if it has a design inside this title, then that particular block will display. Here we have a design, here we have a designer, here we have design. So it has been displayed. If I make it as doesn't contain, the title shouldn't contain this design. So the other blocks which doesn't have the wording of design will be displayed here. So this is the concept of filters. So that we have seen how to add the block inside this home. Then what about clicking on this read more? It should redirect me to the single block page. So in order to create a single block page, go to the pages, just click on this page. Here we have new CMS page. Inside it, choose blog. Here we have a detail page. Just click on this detail page so that the detail page has been created. Let's do the adjustment. This author image should be displayed here. So that I'm going to the layers. Let me drag it at the top of the author name and let's change the width and height of it. Let me make it as 50 and 50. And it will be fine. And for the radius, that should be 100%. Okay, this is the author image. The author image and author name should be inside the wrap. So for that, Control Alt Enter, a tag will be created. Let's make it as fill and height to fit and change the distribution to be the horizontal. Now bring this author to the align. Okay, and let me select this post and make it as center. Let the author name be fit. Okay, so that we made like this. So when we bring an author image and author name, in some of the cases the author image will not be provided inside the blog page. Let me show you an example. Let me go to the CMS. Let me choose the second one. Let me take out this image and this one. Let me take out this image. So for this two blog, we doesn't have the author name. Actually, this is not a required field, so there is no problem. I'm going back. Let me choose this one. It's showing the icon like this. Let me preview this. It's showing this icon like this. It's not looking great while viewing the web page. It should not visible. We can't just use the option of visible to no. It will affect the other option also. So in order to make the visibility based on the condition of author image, we need to go the visible and we need to set the variable. So let me set the variable and the author name should be is set. So only if the author image is set, this particular icon will be displayed. So here you can see the image has not been displayed. Let me go to the other. Now it has been displayed. In the next one, it has been displayed. So this is how you need to work around the filters, a conditional visibility and the filters of the CMS. In a single blog page, we will have another blogs too. So if I wish to read more blogs, it will be helpful. So how to do that? So in order to create a blog beneath the single page, let me go to the home. Let me copy this collection list. Just for example, I'm showing this. I'm going to the blog page and let me paste. So here we have like this. The design doesn't seem good, so I'm clicking on here. Let me make the direction to vertical, and also it doesn't look good, so I'm clicking on this and let make the direction to vertical, and let's bring the image at the top. If I wish to reduce the spacing, let me make it to fit and let me make the width to fill, and let's give the padding value at the top to 40. Yes, looks look great. And let me make the spacing. Okay, fine. So that we need to give the breathing space at the left and right. So that I'm choosing this padding. Let me give it as 30 and 30. Let me reduce the size. Okay, now it's look somewhat good. Now let's go to the home again. So if I click on this read mode, it should take me to the single blog page. So in order to do that, I'm choosing this read mode button. I'm going to the link. So here you can see blog slug. Just click on it. That's it. Let me preview this. So if I click, it will take me here. Here too, we need to set a condition. So for that, I'm going to the blog page and let me set the link to blog slug. That's it. Here can you see the same blog has been repeated. It shouldn't be like this. We need to change. We need to provide the different blocks. So how we are going to make this? We need to use the filters. So click on this collection list, go to the filters and choose the filter to the title doesn't equal. Now set the variable, that is set variable to title. So if any of the titles equals to this title, it will not display it here. So this is not displaying here. If you enjoyed this video and found value, don't forget to hit the like button and share it with your fellow designers. Subscribe me for more content on Framer, web design and development.